Girotra. COVID-19, which was first detected in December 2019 in Wuhan, China, has sickened more than 1 lakh people worldwide and killed over 4,200. There are no vaccines or therapies available for the disease as of now. Doctors across the world are scrambling to develop a vaccine for COVID-19 and adapt existing treatments to contain it. The pandemic has catalyzed the development of novel coronavirus vaccines across the biotech industry, both by pharmaceutical companies and research organizations. And in the race to develop a treatment for the rapidly spreading illness, dozens of drugs are being tested around the world. It's an urgent mission because the latest data suggests that some 20% of people infected have serious illness and around 1% may die. In In-Depth today, we'll talk about prevention and treatment of coronavirus disease, as well as take a look at the efforts around developing a vaccine. COVID-19, the disease caused by the new coronavirus, has spread to nearly 115 countries worldwide, following which the World Health Organization has declared it a pandemic. Doctors across the world are currently using general treatment measures to control the symptoms of COVID-19, as there is no specific vaccine or cure for coronavirus. Although efforts are underway to develop a treatment for the rapidly spreading infection, in this report, we'll take a look at the multiple efforts currently underway across various countries to contain the pandemic and finding a cure for it.
With the World Health Organization characterizing novel coronavirus as a pandemic, scientists across the world are trying to develop a line of treatment and a possible vaccine for COVID-19. Caused by the novel coronavirus, COVID-19 has infected nearly 1,20,000 people and claimed more than 4,500 lives since December. As of now, there is no effective medication to cure this novel strain of coronavirus. Although several efforts to develop drugs are underway, scientists say success is unlikely to come immediately. Even the most optimistic timelines do not see a line of treatment or vaccine arriving before next year.
The vaccine and treatment of drugs, they take time. It is not as though that you can immediately find out any drug or vaccine which can be effective in this particular. It requires really years hard work. And then only animal trial, human trial, and so on and so forth. Then only it can be recommended as a effective medicine. So it takes time. So, but yes, people are working on that, and there are many clues on which ICMR, particularly in India, they are working on it.
But as the virus spreads far and wide to newer countries, efforts are on to collect and analyze the genetic composition of the virus, which would be key to developing a cure and also a vaccine. Laboratories in various countries have been isolating and sharing the genome sequences of the virus on an international platform. Genome sequence is the unique code of genetic material of any organism that determines its characteristics. For instance, the gene composition of novel coronavirus is different from that of the influenza virus. Every day, about 20 to 30 genome sequences are being shared from different laboratories across the world. So far, 326 sets of data have been shared. India has also reported 2 sets of genome sequences so far, both of which are very similar to the original sequences collected from patients in Wuhan. Scientists say this is expected since the sequences were extracted from the first positive cases in Kerala who had returned from Wuhan. China, which is at the epicenter of the pandemic, has contributed 120 sequences until now. The United States of America has shared 43 genome sequences, while the Netherlands and the United Kingdom have contributed 25 each. Scientists say new technological tools have made it easier to isolate full genome sequences. Traditional techniques used to take weeks for the extraction, but new machines are able to do it within 2 to 3 days. But why are so many genome sequences being isolated? Scientists say that when viruses multiply or reproduce, there is a copying mechanism that transfers the gene information to the next generation. However, no copying mechanism is perfect. When the virus multiplies, there will be small changes which are called mutations. These mutations accumulate over time and after prolonged periods are responsible for the evolution of new organisms. Within a single reproduction, the changes are extremely minor, as more than 95% of the gene structure remains the same. However, the small changes that occur are crucial to understanding the nature and behavior of the organism. In the case of COVID-19, the small changes could provide scientists with information about the origin, transmission, and impact of the virus on the patient. It could also hold clues to the differing effects the virus could have on patients with different health parameters. Right now, doctors are using general treatment measures to control the symptoms of COVID-19 with no specific vaccine or cure yet. What's being done as a potential cure to COVID-19 is that drugs are being repurposed. This means that old drugs for similar diseases are being checked for their efficacy against the new disease. If they work, these drugs will require clinical trials and then can be made widely available to people. In most cases, symptomatic treatment for fever, body ache, and cough will be sufficient. More severe cases will require oxygen and respiratory support. New drugs will be useful particularly for severe cases, but it will have to be seen how long it will take to get repurposed drugs and new drugs.
Till date, there is no specific cure for this disease. It is just like many other viruses where we don't have any specific treatment. We don't have any specific drug which can be effective against this infection. So most of the time it is symptomatic treatment, just like any other flu. If patient is having running nose, then we usually give antihistaminics in the form of cetirizine. If patient is having fever, then we give paracetamol, like that. And if the certain patient can be critically ill where the disease is severe, so they will require all the treatment just like a critically ill patient in ICU. So suppose some patient develop severe pneumonia and they have respiratory failure, then they will be requiring ICU care and they will require all the mechanical ventilation and other supports. So that support is similar to any other kind of severe pneumonia. If we talk about drugs, there are many drugs which has been tried. Few of these drugs are used for HIV treatment, but there is no strong data to suggest that these are very effective and that this kind of therapy can be routinely used.
The US company Moderna Therapeutics has already begun recruiting and hopes to enroll 45 volunteers between 18 and 55 and launch a trial by the end of April. The first phase of trials will look at whether the vaccine triggers an immune response and whether the given dose causes adverse effects and could be completed quickly. The next few phases will involve more volunteers and look more closely at efficacy. However, obtaining a commercially available vaccine will take much longer. According to news reports, Israeli scientists are also aiming for a breakthrough in understanding the biological mechanism and qualities of the novel coronavirus, which includes better diagnostic capability, production of antibodies for those who already have the virus, and then development of a new vaccine. But the development process will require a series of tests and experiments that may last many months before the vaccination is deemed effective or safe for use by humans. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
As the coronavirus spread continued around the world, countries including Spain, South Korea, Iraq, United States and Japan have further strengthened prevention and control measures to curb the COVID-19 outbreak. Here's a detailed report on the outbreak that has affected over 110 countries and over 1 lakh people worldwide.
Health authorities around the globe continue to scramble to contain the novel coronavirus first detected in the central Chinese city of Wuhan in December 2019. The virus, which causes a respiratory illness called COVID-19, has spread to at least 114 countries and territories on 6 continents, infecting more than 118,000 people and killing more than 4,200. The vast majority of infections and deaths have occurred in mainland China, where authorities placed a region of 60 million people under lockdown to contain the pathogen. On March 11th, the World Health Organization finally categorized the COVID-19 outbreak as a pandemic as the virus spreads increasingly worldwide.
In the days and weeks ahead, we expect to see the number of cases, the number of deaths, and the number of affected countries climb even higher. WHO has been assessing this outbreak around the clock, and we're deeply concerned both by the alarming levels of spread and severity and by the alarming levels of inaction. We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
In China, over 60,000 patients have been cured and discharged from hospital as of March 11th, following the closure of all temporary hospitals in Wuhan city, the epicenter of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. China's National Health Commission said the country has passed the peak of the novel coronavirus epidemic as the number of new cases is declining and the epidemic remains in check. However, outside Hubei on the Chinese mainland, 7 new cases were reported on March 11th. There were 31 new suspected cases and 1 death. The number of patients in critical condition has decreased by 3.
武汉新增确诊病例8例，已经降至个位数。湖北除武汉以外，所有地市已连续1周无新增确诊病例。湖北以外省份新增确诊病例7例，其中6例为境外输入病例。以上信息提示，总体上，我国本轮疫情流行高峰已经过去，新增发病数在持续下降，疫情总体保持在较低水平。
The unprecedented measures have slowed the number of infections in China, but new clusters of infections in South Korea, Italy, Iran, France, and Germany are continuing to stoke international concern. Italy, which has the largest number of reported cases outside China, has locked down the entire country to prevent the spread of the virus. The European country has more than 10,000 cases and has reported 631 deaths so far.
L'Italia protetta, ma ora disponiamo anche la chiusura di tutte le attività commerciali, di vendita al dettaglio, ad eccezione dei negozi di generi alimentari, di prima necessità, delle farmacie e delle parafarmacie. Nessuna corsa, attenzione, non è necessario fare nessuna corsa quindi per acquistare cibo nei supermercati. Chiudiamo però negozi, bar, pub, ristoranti, lasciando la possibilità di fare consegna a domicilio. Chiudono anche parrucchieri, centri estetici, chiudono i servizi di mensa che non garantiscono una distanza di 1 metro di sicurezza.
Iran on March 12th registered 75 new virus deaths, taking the toll to 429 with over 10,000 active cases. A tense Iran has sought a multi-billion-dollar loan from the International Monetary Fund to fight the virus. Meanwhile, Iran's senior vice president and 2 other cabinet members have tested positive for the new coronavirus. Iran is one of the nations hardest hit by the virus. As of March 11th, the number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Spain had exceeded 2,000, of which 1,000 are in the country's capital, Madrid. Spain's equality minister has tested positive for the coronavirus and has been quarantined with her partner. The Spanish government announced further measures to combat the virus, with all sporting events to be held behind closed doors. In an unprecedented move, US President Donald Trump announced that the country will suspend all travel from European nations except Britain for 30 days in a bid to fight the outbreak. The announcement came as confirmed COVID-19 cases in the US rolled past 1,000. The new rules will go into effect on March 13th at midnight. In addition, the mayor of Washington declared on March 11th that the national capital has entered a state of emergency. With inputs from Leena Sharma, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In India, the Union Health Ministry has announced that the number of coronavirus patients in the country has risen to 73, with 13 fresh cases, including one foreign national. The Health Ministry has asked people not to panic in the wake of the increasing number of coronavirus cases, saying the focus is on preventive approach and there are adequate facilities available for testing. Ministry officials also said that coronavirus is difficult to isolate and developing a vaccine will take at least 1.5 to 2 years. At a press conference on Thursday, Health Ministry officials said that India's efforts to deal with coronavirus are in consonance with the WHO and the focus is on preventive approach. Over 1,500 people are under observation for coming in contact with the 73 positive cases of coronavirus.
We are dealing with infectious disease management here, and in infectious disease management, the moment we find a single case, we do a proper screening of that patient. We identify whom has he got in touch since the time he has entered into country or even otherwise in the last few days. All those people get traced, monitored. They are monitored symptomatically. उसके बाद हमारी सैम्पलिंग गाइडलाइंस के तहत अगर उनको हमें होम क्वारंटाइन या उनको टची सेक्टर में एडमिशन या उनका हमें सैम्पलिंग करनी पड़ती है वो हम करते हैं. See, it is very important that we should not create panic. Only people who need to be tested should be tested. Similarly, with respect to the testing regions you mentioned, country is already prepared. We already have around 1 lakh testing kits available. Additional testing kits have already been ordered and they're also in procurement.
Looking at the current situation, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that the government is fully vigilant about the situation, urging people to say no to panic and yes to precautions. He also said that across ministries and states, multiple steps have been proactively taken to ensure safety of all. In wake of the novel coronavirus outbreak, the Delhi government has declared this as an epidemic, advising schools and colleges to shut down till 31st March. All cinema halls will also remain closed till the end of the month, and all public places, including government and private offices and shopping malls, have been asked to disinfect compulsorily. Ministry of External Affairs has advised against conducting IPL matches, but said that the final decision lies with the organizers of the league. As a precautionary measure against the spread of COVID-19, Rashtrapati Bhavan will remain closed for exploratory tour visits from March 13th till further notice. Moreover, the Rashtrapati Bhavan Museum Complex and the change of guard ceremony will also not be open to public till further notice. The WHO on Wednesday declared the novel coronavirus outbreak a pandemic. However, there is no need to panic as the WHO is calling it a controllable pandemic. Countries only need to step up measures to tackle the coronavirus. COVID-19 has followed the path usually taken by all pandemics as they go through different phases. The phases of a pandemic present an outline as to when the spread of disease is severe enough to take specific actions. This essentially depends on the path a disease takes besides other epidemiological factors. Based on the influenza outbreak in 1999, the WHO designed a pandemic preparedness plan. It also specifies certain infection prevention and control precautions that must be followed.
How an epidemic spreads enough to turn into a pandemic varies on the basis of the pathogenesis or pathway of a disease and other epidemiological factors. The model used by World Health Organization's public health response involves influenza. In 1999, the WHO released the very first influenza pandemic preparedness plan, in which it outlined the appropriate response based on 6 clearly outlined phases. The aim of the plan is to coordinate the global response by providing countries a blueprint from which to draw up their own national strategies based on available resources. This same basic model is applied with variations to other epidemics such as tuberculosis, malaria, and the Zika virus.
Now, WHO has issued various guidelines. Actually, the pandemic is a term which they have only yesterday they have declared that. Prior to that, it was public health emergency of international concern that requires 4 essential criteria to be fulfilled. So now this disease has spread to over 100 countries, as I was talking. So that is why, and it has caused substantial, even in the countries which are thought to be very developed as far as the health structure is concerned, we are having substantial number of cases and substantial number of deaths. That is why it is a cause of concern, and WHO has rightly declared this as a global pandemic.
Phases 1 through 3 are designed to help public health officials know it is time to develop the tools and action plans to respond to an impending threat, while phases 4 through 6 are when action plans are implemented in coordination with the WHO. WHO keeps track of all identified viruses, animal or human, through a set of phases or stages. During phase 1, viruses are circulating within animals only, and no human infection has resulted from the animal virus. In phase 2, an animal virus has caused an infection in a human being. At this point, there is a basic level of pandemic threat because the virus strain has mutated enough to make that transfer to a human. Phase 3 is when small clusters of human beings have contracted the virus in one community. There is potential for the virus to spread if others outside that community come into contact with infected humans. At this point, the illness may be epidemic in that community, but it is not pandemic yet. In phase 4, human-to-human and animal-to-human virus transmission are causing outbreaks in many communities, and more people are getting sick. More communities report outbreaks, and a pandemic is more likely, even though it is not a foregone conclusion. Phase 5 happens when human-to-human transmission is taking place in at least 2 countries in one WHO region. At phase 5, most countries are not affected yet, but a pandemic is considered imminent. This phase is the signal that governments and health officials must be ready to implement their pandemic mitigation plans. In phase 6, a global pandemic is underway. Illness is widespread, and governments and health officials are actively working to curtail the spread of the disease and help their populations deal with it using preventive and stopgap measures. In the post-pandemic phase, after the increase in activity, the disease-spreading activity begins to wane. The key at this point is to be prepared to try to prevent a second wave. The time frame for each phase can vary significantly. Not all epidemics will progress to phase 6, and some may even revert if a virus spontaneously weakens. There are some standard precautions that must be followed as a rule by all patients and healthcare professionals in all healthcare settings. These precautions include hand hygiene, use of personal protective equipment, following respiratory hygiene, employing environmental controls including cleaning and disinfection, waste management, packing and transporting of patient care equipment, linen and laundry, and waste from isolation areas, and prevention of needle stick or sharps injuries. These precautions are intended to minimize the spread of infection associated with healthcare and to avoid direct contact with patients' blood, body fluids, secretions, and non-intact skin.
It's spread usually by contact, close contact basically. So whenever a patient is having this disease and he coughs or sneezes, the virus is released into the cough droplet in the droplet form. So you can see when somebody coughs or sneezes, the droplet can go up to maybe maximum 2 meters of distance. So if we can avoid by some means, that avoid close contacts, means if somebody is symptomatic, if we are not going very close to him, at least we can keep a distance of approximately 2 meters from him, then chances of getting that infection from that patient is quite low. So we have to keep all these in mind, that we should avoid close contact with the infected person. The second way of spreading it is, once patient is coughed, then that droplet will occupy some kind of surface. Let us suppose I develop cough and I cough over this table. So that droplet will be occupying that surface, and whosoever touches this surface, they will carry these viruses. And from there, that virus can go anywhere, because on surface this virus can still be effective for a quite long time. So to prevent that, the strategy is frequent hand washing. So every time or maybe frequently you should wash your hands, and especially when you are touching your mouth or nose. Before that, we should always wash our hands.
The SARS outbreak illustrated the critical importance of basic infection prevention and control, or IPC, precautions in healthcare facilities. The transmission of the SARS virus within healthcare facilities was often associated with a lack of compliance with these precautions. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
While even the common cold is caused by a strain of the coronavirus, the novel strain of the virus can cause more severe and deadlier symptoms. What starts out as just a cold could develop into pneumonia and bronchitis. Let's take a look at now the symptoms this virus can bring on and how to prevent catching an infection.
The coronavirus can make people sick, usually with a mild to moderate upper respiratory tract illness, which can be similar to a common cold. Symptoms include a runny nose, cough, sore throat, possibly a headache, and maybe a fever lasting for a couple of days. But in people with a weakened immune system, especially the elderly and the very young, the virus could be more serious. In these groups, the virus could cause a lower and much more serious respiratory tract illness like pneumonia or bronchitis.
Coronavirus is a basically member of Coronaviridae family. Okay, and for general public is similar to, like, there was viruses sometime back. If you go to 2009, there was a swine flu virus. Then subsequently there was a SARS virus, and then subsequently Middle East Respiratory Syndrome virus. So these all viruses are from the same family. Okay, but still they are not same, because there are some genetic differences among these. One thing. The second thing is, if we talk about the disease caused by this, so all these viruses lead to respiratory diseases. Okay, simply if we talk about symptoms, so they will be just like any kind of flu. Like, patient will have the respiratory problems in the form of cough, then sneezing, rhinorrhea, sore throat. If serious, patient can develop pneumonia, and if more serious, then in the current this new coronavirus 19, they have reported that kidney failure is more common with this virus.
With coronavirus being a zoonotic virus, it spreads from human contact with animals. Once it reaches humans, it can spread fast, as it often spreads when someone comes into contact with the infected person's secretions. Depending on how virulent the virus is, a cough, sneeze, or a handshake can cause exposure. The virus can also be transmitted by touching something an infected person has touched and then touching your mouth, nose, or eyes. Caregivers can sometimes be exposed by handling a patient's waste. There is no specific treatment for the coronavirus. Doctors can relieve symptoms by prescribing pain or fever medication, but most of the time symptoms will go away on their own. A room humidifier or a hot shower can help with a sore throat or cough. If infected, drink plenty of fluids, get rest, and sleep as much as possible. However, if the symptoms feel worse than a common cold, it's important to see the doctor. There is no vaccine to protect against this family of viruses, at least not yet, but you may be able to reduce your risk of infection by avoiding people who are sick. With inputs from Kunal Singh, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
First, masks and thermal cameras began to greet passengers as they disembarked at airports, and aeroplanes were thoroughly disinfected between flights. Then, planes started to empty as countries closed borders to the hardest hit regions and people reconsidered their travel plans. Now, a stroll through most of Asia's airports and famous tourist spots around the world present a sobering experience. Take a look at what happens in these places when everyone stays home.